YouTube, what is the effing deal? It's your boy Dooley, back with another episode of Dooley 101, adventures of episode whatever, however you want to look at it. But today I wanted to talk about 3 reasons why you need to be printing your work, alright? I've printed some stuff before just because I've done some galleries, and I have some pictures back here from the gallery like that that didn't make the cut, and I just been hanging it up. Recently I just got back into like printing my work and trying to sell my work and getting it framed and all those types of things like that, which is why I wanted to put together these reasons for you to print your work if you are not already printing your work. Alright, so let's start off with number 1. I got them written down on my phone because I didn't want to forget anything, so let's just see what I got, right? Alright, so the first one that I actually put down is sales. First off, I guess we'll start it off as is not everybody wants to sell your work. Not everybody wants to get into that rat race where you're just trying to compete and sell your work and do all of these in your work out there, and it can be a job, it can be a lot. But what I like about actually selling work or having work available for people to purchase is, one, there are people that they're gonna be buying photos anyway. They're gonna go to Home Goods, they're gonna go to AC Moore, they're gonna go to Marshalls, Ross, all of these places that have frames and photos anyway and purchase the work. So why not let them purchase from you? Also, it's just, basically the way that it was broken down to me recently was, hey, look, the way that my friend Webster, who we'll talk about later, broke it down is, hey, you have to look at your images and say, how much money would you like to make off of this image? If you want to make $10,000 off of an image, then you can break the price down and say, hey, look, we're gonna do limited run of 100 at $100. That can run up your $10,000 like that. Or you can just break it down different ways and start to actually make some money in this crazy photography game that we're in. I mean, besides like actual doing gigs, there are other ways for us to make money. We kind of just have to tap into it. So look into, getting a print. Start, you don't have to go big. Start small, 8x10, something like that. Something nice, maybe $40, $50 that somebody could purchase and hang in their office or anything dope like that. I mean, you just never know until you try it, so go for it. Reason number 2 is you actually deserve it, and people deserve to see your work in another way besides just viewing it on this mobile device or online. I mean, we've gotten to a place since Instagram in 2011, it's literally happened in the past 10-11 years, but we've gotten to a place now where we post our work, we upload it on Instagram, we see the likes that come in, and then we are worried about what the next photo is that we're gonna be putting out there for people to digest. When in reality, it's like, let's go back to, just that feeling of going into a museum, right? If you've ever been to a museum, you go in there, you walk around, you see a work of art or a photo or a painting. It's a completely different experience seeing it in person, being in front of it, having that memory up here in your brain, rather than like, you're gonna take a picture of it anyway to have that, but standing in front of that and digesting and looking at it and figuring out what that photo makes you feel is completely different by just when you're on your phone and you're just scrolling on Instagram trying to get by time. I think that we need to start showing people our work in a different light, and they may notice things that they wouldn't have noticed on Instagram. They may take more time to admire your work that they wouldn't have done on Instagram or online or any other website, So just remember that it's time for people to see your work. People deserve to see your work. People deserve to feel what you intended on them feeling when you took the photo, or they deserve to feel what you felt when you took the photo. So print. Alright, and the third reason why you need to be printing your work is notoriety and awareness. I'm guilty, and maybe you are as well, but as an artist, I've fallen into the place before where we just think that because we are who we are, or we do something so dope, that people are gonna find it. And you post something and you do a photo shoot, edit your photos very, very nice, and everything seems so perfect to you, and you post them and nothing happens. You might get some likes on it and some fire emojis and some cool shit like that, but nothing really comes from that. You have to get your photos in front of more people. Now, I do understand that on social media, you can get your photo literally in front of thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of people. just depending on who actually shares that image. But why leave it up to somebody resharing your work when you can actually put your work in places that you know are going to be seen? Put it in front of people that you know are going to put it up in places where it's going to be seen. We have to learn to just put our work in more places and just exercise all of the different avenues that we have as artists, because it is already difficult for us anyway on the daily, just trying to compete, quote unquote, or just, you know, stay afloat sometimes. You know what I mean? There's a lot that you might get in your own head with, and, you know, a lot of things that just frustrate us as artists anyway. So I think we definitely need to get out of our own way sometimes and just take the jump and get our work out there to the masses, because you never know. Can't just leave it to Instagram, can't just leave it to Facebook, can't just leave it to TikTok. Print your work, make some postcards, make some cards, make some 5x7s, make some 4x6s, give them away, go to Afropunk, go to different places and get your work out there. Yeah, I guess we'll do a bonus tip too, right? The fourth reason, it's a little bit of a long-winded one, but the reason why you should be putting your work out there is because it's actually immortalizing who you are as a photographer and as an artist, right? Let's just say we build up our Instagrams, and 50 years from now, if we're no longer here, Instagram goes down as well. Now what happens to all of your work? What happens to all of the files and time and editing that you've actually done? That goes nowhere. By you printing your work, it actually gives a chance to live on even after you are no longer here. It gives a chance for people to, again, feel the feeling that you felt, whether it be 50 years, 100 years, 200 years down the line. People will be able to look at an image that you took and feel the emotion in which it was that you used. People will be able to feel the emotion behind what you actually created, or the photo that you made. Which leads me on to, like I said, I think in a previous episode, of Henry Phillips Sr., which is my buddy who you guys seen at the beginning of the video, his grandfather. Mr. Phillips Sr. was a photographer here in Baltimore back in the 1950s, and I believe he was a photographer for well over 30 years. But what Webster has been doing is actually taking his grandfather's photos and scanning them in for years. He has well over 5,000, I think between 5,000 and 10,000 photos that his grandfather took back then, and he scanned them all in, and he's been getting them out there to people so that way they can see what Baltimore was like in the 1950s, what Baltimore was like for African Americans in the 1950s, what the culture was like here in the city, different celebrities when they stopped here in Baltimore. That's an experience that I wish I'll be able to keep and pass on after I'm no longer here. I feel like as artists, that's one of the things that we all do it for, is the awareness, and for people to really see and kind of understand who we are or were as an artist, you know? So what Webb is doing with his grandfather's work, the I. Henry Photo Project, I just think it's completely amazing. I just hope that years down the line we're able to do that same thing with my photos, and now it's actually giving me a new way to look at and approach my photography as well. I'm just learning to have fun with it again, you know, and I think it can also be a job at times, like when it gets a little rough. So with me kind of just diving in, I've been taking film photos again, but also with me just looking into printing and sales and putting a purpose behind my work. I think prints is the way to go, or just putting my work out there, even if it's not to print, even if it's trading, even if it's just, you know, showing someone a different perspective than just being on the phone. I think that's super important. So I'm actually gonna wrap this video, and if you guys don't mind, do me a favor, like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoy the content that we have been dropping. I'll make sure that I put all of the links to I. Henry Photo Project and all of the videos and things like that you can check out, so that way you can follow along with the project if you want, and also follow on Instagram. Also, don't forget to hit that little bell right up here in this corner, so that way you can be notified every time I drop a video, because all of the love that you guys give to my vids helps me out a lot. Don't forget to show your grandmother, show whomever, cousins, anybody who, you know, they're probably gonna like me, you know what I'm saying? So I would just show them one of my videos, and until next time, guys, it's your boy Dooley. Peace out. Alright, so back to Certified Lover Boy. There it is.